was the toughest transition for you? Was it academically or was it socially?
I would say socially because I went to Baton Rouge High and they strongly prepared us academically. But socially, I think we can find our niche in groups or friends of people through like student-run organizations or even in classes as well. So forming study groups together and going to club meetings and participating in competitions is so much fun, and it's a great way to like socialize and make new friends. Well, that's how I did.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Career Education Learning Center podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Rivers. I am thrilled and elated to have Karrie Chang on our show today. Carrie is a political communications major at the great University of LSU down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. How are you doing today, Carrie?
I'm doing well, thank you. And how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic today since you came on our show. Thank you so much for coming on the show, as I mentioned earlier. Carrie, tell us, why did you choose LSU to go to? I'm pretty sure you had an array of colleges and universities to go to. Why LSU?
Yeah, so first of all, LSU, like I grew up in Baton Rouge, so I always knew that I wanted to go to LSU because it's close to home and it offers the resources and majors that I'm interested in studying.
Oh, man. So you're already in Baton Rouge. So you used to that slang twang that they do down in Baton Rouge. I have friends from Louisiana, and I'm from the South here in North Carolina. So we have our own little slang twang and the way we talk, accents, what other people say, or dialects, however they want to put it. So you from already. So you got used to the slang and tang there, huh?
Yeah. On the other hand, LSU has a really beautiful campus as well. So that's really nice.
They have a very big campus. I mean, was that an adjustment from you going from high school to LSU? Or since you already live in Baton Rouge and you probably went on campus a couple of times, there wasn't much of an adjustment as it would be for a student that never been to LSU before?
I would say that just naturally adapting to our surroundings, just following what we're like ideally supposed to do like every day would just like slowly gear us to like normalizing like life on a larger campus.
Was that transition hard for you going from high school to where your parents telling you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, to going to LSU to where now you're responsible, you're on your own, nobody tells you when to get up, nobody tells you when to go to class. How was that transition?
So we have to be grounded in ourselves. It was like honestly kind of tough at first, but if we have a goal in mind and we set it, then every day, like we set micro goals for ourselves, then I believe that we can graduate at the end. So.
Yeah, I mean, everybody. I think every freshman, there's not too many freshmen I know of that comes out of high school and go to college that don't have to make that transition, either academically, socially, or both. What was the toughest transition for you? Was it academically or was it socially?
I would say socially because I went to Baton Rouge High and they strongly prepared us academically, but socially, I think we can find our niche in groups or friends of people through like student-run organizations or even in classes as well. So forming study groups together and going to club meetings and participating in competitions is so much fun, and it's a great way to like socialize and make new friends. Well, that's how I did.
That's great. That is great. I mean, I think that's good, especially if you're like a big campus. The way you make a campus small to you is to get inside organizations and get on clubs. Right. Are there some clubs or organizations that you joined already being at LSU?
Yeah, so I joined AdFed, the American Advertising Federation. Yes, it's a part of the Manship School of Mass Communication, And I also joined Pi Sigma Epsilon. It's a sales and marketing fraternity. So
Mm,
actually, I joined DECA in high school. Excuse me,
right.
but they didn't have DECA at LSU, which I was so sad. So I found a similar fraternity or club to join, and that was so much fun. And we're actually going to convention in 2 weeks. So
Oh
excited.
man.
Yeah.
Well, you know how to come back on our show and tell us how that convention went, you know. So you really are. Tell how that convention went. I seen on your profile, y'all going to ask for it, and I'm going to ask about that. So being in those organizations, does that help you as far as confidence and more comfortable being on campus? Because I want to encourage students that may be
Right.
looking at this podcast at this time, like, hey, when you go to
Mhm.
college, get involved, you know, get to know people, and that helps make the campus or the campus, my fault, was so big to come smaller to
Right.
you to where you know individuals. Did you feel that way joining organizations?
Yeah, at first when I joined LSU, like was accepted to LSU, all I did was just go to the library, study, go to classes, and then go back home. Like I felt like I was not really involved. Like I had just academic life and home life. Like it was honestly kind of boring. And when you walk to commute to like another, like to your car or to another class, you see other people like walking like in a very um upbeat or purposeful manner, and then you're just like waiting for your next class or just like doing something not productive. So honestly, getting out there and doing something productive like joining a student or an organization or just simply volunteering at like things on campus, like we even have a UREC, so I'm
Wow.
sure we can like make new friends there.
Man, so that is great to know. And that's what I want my audience to know is that get
Right.
involved. Was you a commuter student at LSU first?
Yes, I'm a commuter, so I live at home.
Okay. That's even more involved that you have to get in order to become part of that campus life, right? Because you're not on campus all the time, going to the cafeteria, going here and there, where we normally stay on campus with dorm and have
Right.
dorm mates and roommates. Being a commuter student, it means you have to get more involved to feel part of that campus life. And Carrie, don't
Right.
feel bad. I went to UNC Pembroke my first semester, and that's all I did. And I stayed on campus. Uh, all I did was go to my dorm room, go eat lunch and dinner, come back and study. You know? And I said, you got to do more than this. You know, I got to get involved, you know.
Right.
And
We
so
only live this college.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we want to know the college experience. You know, that's why the
Right.
college experience. You pay for a lot of those fees. You know, you want that college experience. And you can't get that kind of experience if you go into your dorm room, come out a little bit, go, come out. You feel like like you like a robot. You know, go back, come in, go back, come in, and you really can't develop yourself as a whole person. And you being in political communications, you have to be out there, right? You have to learn to meet people, to greet people, to talk to people, and how do you come about that major? That's an interesting major. I never heard that major before, and I think it's great that they have that at LSU.
Yeah, it's actually a concentration within mass communication. So I'm in this 3+3 law program that offers like 3 years of either the coastal science, mass communication, or the humanities, and 3 years of law. So I chose the mass communication route for that because I thought political communication would be beneficial for the law experience later on, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't know. I mean, you decided to go to LSU for your educational journey and experience, and I like the part that you are trying to get involved, which is great to make even more of your college experience. Yeah, you can go in and out of your dorm, as we said before, and learn here and not be with anybody, not doing no organization, not really come immersed into that campus life. But
Mhm.
LSU, from what I hear, is really a great school. A lot of activities and everything. I hear great things for LSU. And if you don't immerse yourself with the organizations that you did, with the clubs, and get immersed in the environment, then you're gonna skip out on a whole lot of things that you missed out. And then later
Right.
on in life, believe me, Carrie, when you get my age, later on in life, you're gonna say, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know how on this. I should have done more." You don't have no regrets. So I think that's fantastic that you are trying to immerse yourself at the same time. So you want to go to law school. Is there any particular law or like avenue you want to go as far as being maybe a corporate lawyer, criminal lawyer, defense lawyer, prosecutor? Have you thought about that much as far as being in law, or just go to law school, complete law school, and then I decide?
I was more thinking on the transactional side.
Okay, yeah,
So,
yes.
yes,
Well, a lot of law, I think it was one time like 47, 49% of people don't even go to law. And they go to law school, but they don't really go to law. They're going to corporate lawyer, they're going to
right.
be, agents, managers.
Mhm.
They mainly deal with business stuff, right? And communication and financial. So a lot of lawyers, what people don't realize, is they don't go to law school to become lawyers in a sense. They do have a law degree and they pass their exam, but they go in there for other business activities that they want to do. Just having that background and a law degree gives you even more access to that, right? So if I'm an
Right.
athlete and I know
Mhm.
that this agent here has a law degree on top of being an agent, then I'm most likely want to go to him because he used to reading contracts or she used to reading contracts. Because a lot of those contracts, as you know, for professional athletes, they say that the details or the devil's in the details. And since you go to law school go into details and you learn about that and learn about the law, then that helps you out a whole lot. Like I feel more comfortable that if my agent said it's okay, then it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Then somebody who doesn't have a law degree, and that makes you feel comfortable also. So going to LSU and being a commuter, and are you helping to go on campus one day or are you going to stay a commuter? How do you feel about that? Just staying a commuter and going that route? Because it does save money, to be
Um,
honest. If I'm your parents, I'm very happy. Let me ask you that question. How does your parents feel like you being a commuter? I'm pretty sure they got smiles on their faces.
um, yes, I think my parents, they don't really mind. So, because honestly, I go to school at 7, like in the morning,
Hmm.
and then my classes normally end around like 12 to 3-ish, like
Hmm.
3:30. And then I have organizations from like um 4 to like 6. And then I fill in the gap time with the student work
Hmm.
part-time at school. So, and then at the very end, after the student ran organizations, I go to the UREC just to run a little bit. And then that's like 8 p.m. So I just go home to sleep. And then I repeat the same thing the next day.
But you work out, huh? Is that one of the things that you enjoy doing? Is working out?
Sometimes just running or stretching. Yes, I feel like it um keeps me active
Is
and
that
as
part of
well.
it? Well, I know I had a person talk about the whole, your whole person and environment, or for us, the whole body experience, right? You want your whole body as far as you as a whole person, your spiritual, your mental, your physical, all that to be in sync. So is that what you enjoy doing, or do you have also have other hobbies that you enjoy doing, Carrie?
That's what I'm focusing on right now,
That's what
currently.
you're
Yes,
focusing
sir.
on right now. Well, that is great though. To be honest, I don't like running, Carrie, but I do go to the gym because I don't want to be big as a whale. Most people grow up. I'm growing wide, so I'm trying to prevent myself from growing too wide, Carrie. So I also trying to go to the gym and work out. To not grow so wide to where next time you see me, you say, "Man, Mitchell, what happened to you? You're not even in screen. The screen had to be bigger, Mitchell."
No.
So you want to tell me the screen had to be bigger because I didn't gain so much weight because I'm such a foodie person, and I try to do the best that I can do, but sometimes, I give into eating, I give into the foodie side. So when you made that, let's talk about that transition. We made it from high school to college. Did your parents really support you? They say, "We're good, Carrie. We think you chose a good school and you're at home." And so do they enjoy you being at home, or are they like my parents? Like, I'm glad you get away. My mom, like, "Oh, good, get away, Mitchell, get away." How did your parents feel about you staying at home and going to school?
Yeah, so my parents were pretty laid off. They were like, "Oh, it's up to you. It's like your life. If you regret it, then it's on you. Like you can't like blame it on me," kind of thing. So they're like, "You can make the right choice for yourself because um yeah, just don't hold any regrets, I guess." I guess that's what they were like. They were really open-minded. So they were not
That's
like super strict or yeah. So
That's fantastic. That is. I love that. The parents say, "Hey, it's on you. You do what you want to do." And I'm pretty sure that they were having. Did you receive any scholarships or any other free money to go to LSU? Because I try to stress that, try to get as many resources as you can, especially financial resources to go to school. Were you able to attain those?
Right. So there's TOPS that Louisiana offers, and there's also like the private scholarships from like the clubs. Like you can apply because I was involved in the Key Club in high school, and that
Oh
was
yeah,
so much
I
fun.
was too. I was a kid.
Yeah, really? Yeah. So I applied for their scholarships from there. So that was really fun and helpful for college.
And so that's what I want young people, especially in high school, that's watching this podcast today, is
Right.
to go ahead and apply for those scholarships. And I went over a webinar, Carrie, online to talk about scholarships and applying for them early. Your junior year, you're going to review your scholarships and see which one you want to go to as far as applying. And then your senior, that's when you start applying, because your senior in high school is so busy. You know, got senior prom, got senior this, senior that.
And then
you're so busy trying, and testing every time. And so you want to start knowing what applications or what scholarships I want to apply for, and you get that out of the way, because there's thousands and thousands of scholarships. And there's no scholarship too small or no scholarship, of course, too large. But apply for all that you can apply for and apply that to the school. So that way when you go to school, you ask them, like, hey, what money can you offer me? What other scholarships does the foundation have? Does the school have? Because I need money going to school because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
It's so expensive. And Carrie, when you get older, have kids, I don't know how much college is going to cost when you have kids, Carrie. They may be like $100,000 a year when you have kids to go to school. It may be very expensive when you go to school. So, Carrie, thank you so much for coming on our podcast. But before you leave, do you have any advice for young people, especially high school students, going to college, what they should do or shouldn't do, or some advice that may help them that you didn't know about going to college?
That's a very good question. So, I think that we shouldn't like hold any regrets like going in or like leaving from high school or college, because we'll just make the best decision now, and then in the future you wouldn't regret it because you already made the best decision at the current moment. So, yeah, I think.
Yeah, and that's great. And I'm going to take that with me, Carrie, if you don't mind. I know I'm much older than you are, but hey, I take suggestions and nuggets from everyone. That's a great nugget, Go out there, live your life, no regrets. And I think I did that a little bit, Carrie, by starting this organization, put myself out there, and just say, I'm getting involved. I joined some organizations, the National Association of Self-Employed, and other organizations I've done to try to help me as far as getting better and what I'm trying to do as an entrepreneur. And so that is great advice, ladies and gentlemen, you can take from Carrie. Carrie, thank you so much for coming on our show. I really enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you so much for this opportunity as well.
And I'd like to thank our viewers and listeners for joining me, Mitchell Rivers, on the Career Education Learning Center podcast, where we're making your career dreams a reality. God bless.